Welcome back, bright light of the world, sixth sensory superpower genius. I'm so excited that you are actually part of this new vibration. The world needs you. The world needs a lot of people in this vibration because this is the vibration and this is the frequency that's not only going to heal your life, but you're going to become part of a force that's going to start healing other lives because this is contagious. Living this way is so contagious because we are reactivating something that's been dormant that we need. And for every one of us that makes choices to go with our guidance, not only are you affirming and returning to your own authentic and just really cohesive self, you're putting out a vibration that invites other people to return and elevate and start vibrating to their self. And so one by one, it ripples out like ripples in a lake. So wherever you go, I call it good fairies, just good earth fairies. Wherever you go, things spin and turn and begin to get better because we influence one another. So the more you are modeling and living and choosing to go with your vibes, the more you become part of the solutions of the world and really begin to be part of the help for those who are struggling. So how does that play out in your day-to-day life? Well, the first thing I want you to notice is stop thinking. Whatever you're looking for is not going to come here. Maybe you need, after you make your choices, the guidance of your intellect. Okay, my vibes say start a business. The guidance of my intellect says, okay, let's make a plan. But you don't let your intellect say, well, we're not going to start. Make the decision. I was thinking of a client of mine in London, a beautiful young man who fell madly in love with a woman, but they weren't of the same religion. And he was a very religious man, and he loved his parents, who were even more religious. And he loved this beautiful woman, and they didn't match in their training, but his heart said, go for it. He was scared. He was pretty sure that it would either be the girl or the family, but he couldn't have both. Being believing eyes, he asked me what I thought, and I said, well, follow your heart. And trust that it didn't lead you down a wrong path that would cause you such a catastrophic consequence. It appears that way, but you don't know. Choose your heart and see what happens. So he said, oh, I've never been in love like this. I'm going to choose my heart. I'm going to tell my parents, and I will live with it. I will dance in the fire, which I've taught you. And I'll just trust that I wasn't led here to be in a disastrous end result. Well, his parents weren't happy, but they weren't also completely uninterested. They were more interested than he thought, at least slightly available, willing to at least deeply express their disappointment, but at the same time say, well, it's your choice, which shocked him. Then he took his girlfriend home. And within 3 hours, all the resistance, all the suspicion, all the projection ended, and his parents loved his girlfriend. They got married. And he can't believe it because he never in a million years thought that could happen. But he chose to go with his heart. I pointed out, it's a disruptor. But you know what? It was not just good for him and his girlfriend, it was good for both families because the family opened up to a new reality on both sides. And that ripples out into more understanding in the world. Back and forth. We're not alone. We're not islands. We're influencers, positive influencers, if we choose. I have another client who was a coach for a big consulting firm, and she worked with this one company coaching them in middle management for many years. It was a comfortable job. It had a certain consistency. It even lent her prestige. But frankly, she said, I'm way underpaid. And my job is to coach the company to make more money, which they've made over 10 years. My guidance says I should ask for more money. I said, okay, well, you can choose. My intellect, my barking dog says this is a perfectly good job, and if I ask, I could get turned down. I said, you could. Are you willing to dance in the fire? What are you going to choose? She said, well, I'm so mad when I go to work every day and have been for at least 2 years. I'm going to ask for a raise. I'm going to choose to ask for a raise. So she asked. She got fired. She got the raise turned down, and the middle manager job position was replaced, and she ended up on her ear back home. I said, how do you feel about that? And she said, well, I'm out of a job, but at least I'm congruent. I was so mad, and she said, I'm scared, but I was more scared to stay because I was betraying myself. And I said, well, you chose that. Don't believe that your guidance is going to lead you ever to a dead end. It doesn't, but you may have to hold space, which is why we've created the space, and be patient a little longer. 2 months later, the president of the company called her and said, you've been with us for 12 years. You really took our company to a higher level. I know you lost your job there, and I understand why. You really were underpaid for that job, but you also outgrew that job. You deserve a different job, and he hired her to be his personal executive coach at double the salary. Now, she had to wait in the middle, but she made a choice, and we have to make those choices. We want everything all lined up, but sometimes there's pauses. That's why you need the community. That's why you need your believing mirrors who say, look, hang in there, hang tight. Your heart, your inner guidance, your intuition will never lead you to an absolute dead end. But it might lead you in a direction that appears to be a detour or invites you to look at things quite differently. I have another client who was really invested in her speaking. She had a speaking program, and she was another type of coach that taught public speaking. And she worked hard, really hard at this. And it was going along kind of anemically, and she liked it. But she didn't love it. But she worked with her intuition. I taught her and coached her a little bit. And one day I said to her, just let the magic come out in you. Something about those words hit. And she said, you know what I did with that? I started studying magic. It was so much fun. I started showing magic tricks to kids, starting with my niece and nephew. It started to work. The next thing you know, I am inventing this brand new kids program for bringing the magic out in it. And then she wrote a book about bringing the magic out in children. Then she wrote a whole bunch of kids songs that are brilliant. And she has started this brand new business about bringing the magic out in children. And she said, it's so brilliant. I am on fire with joy from just that 2 words and the desire and the encouragement to trust my heart. So I'm not coaching people to be good public speakers anymore. I am teaching kids to continue to let their magic grow, and I've never been happier in my life. So this is how, do you see how it's all starting to work together? It's not just you on a linear track. It's you in an exponential network. Above, below, side to side, in all directions, you become this radiant light. And it's like a satellite. It beams out what I want. It beams back what I need. It beams out good vibes. It beams back good connections. It beams out I need to stay congruent. It beams back where you begin to drift off path. It beams out I want kindred spirit communication and connection and relationships. It pops those people in your path spontaneously. And the best part is, you don't have to figure out any of this. Don't. Because what you figure out is never going to be as good as what the universe, what the quantum field will mirror back. It's more generous for you than you. What you do have to do is make that 4th decision. Choose to trust your intuition and go with what you feel instead of play it safe. Choose. And know that choice could be uncomfortable. And yes, that choice could definitely leave you temporarily. That choice could definitely leave you temporarily uncomfortable. So that's why you have your believing eye companions. That's why you dance in the fire. That's why you play a lot. That's why you create the stamina and the life force to navigate these segues, to navigate these gate changes that take you to different types of future than the one perhaps you thought was the answer. You just have to partner with the quantum field, with the universe, with your spirit, with the goodness all around, and trust that if I stay true to myself, I don't have to figure out the details. I just have to be willing to dance with the clues. I just have to be willing to surrender and go forward and not be in control. I have to have a sense of humor. I have to expect good things. And here is the final thing that you need to be able to live this way. You have to be grateful for the life you have. You have to be super grateful and say so. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for you. Tell people that you're grateful. Tell people that you appreciate them. And try this one. Try this one, because I love this one. When I ask people for help, they sometimes say, I can't help you. And I say, maybe not today. Maybe not in this moment, but maybe tomorrow. And I have constant people coming back saying, you know that request you made? I have an apartment in London that I needed to find very close to my daughter who just had her first baby. My request was for a very simple apartment in her neighborhood that was beautiful for a very low, again, I always like to get the best rent. And we talked to a realtor and he says, I can't help you. Of course, and we know real estate changes quickly, but so quickly. And I said, maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow. Sure enough, the next day, he said, you're actually right. Today I have what you asked for. It wasn't here yesterday. So ask and say, I'm grateful you're going to help me, and you don't even know that. That's what my mother always used to say to people. I'm grateful you're going to help me. Guess what? You don't know you're going to help me, but you're going to help me. And it's going to be fun for both of us. See how playful that is? How fun. It's another version of expect good things, and it's teaching others you can be a good thing in my life, and I can be a good thing in your life, and we don't even know how that's going to work out yet. Because it's constantly growing, constantly evolving. I want you to share with our community the things you're grateful for, and some things that you're grateful for that haven't happened yet. That's when the game gets fun. That's when the game gets fun. Then it's not just sort of a religious practice you learned at church. Yes, thank you, I'm grateful, because that's useless. I'm talking about I'm grateful for the wonderful thing that's going to happen to me tomorrow that you might be involved in. I'm grateful for that. That creates a magnetic vacuum of expectation with a dollop of sweetness and a whole lot of fun. Starts to work out that way. Remember, we're in Wonderland. Okay, so you check in with your tribe, you write down your gratitudes, you tell people I'm grateful, and if they say I can't help you, just say, maybe not today, maybe tomorrow. I'm open for that. And watch how fun life gets. And people will come back. Because they're not often mirrored in a positive way. They're not. And they love it. I'll see you tomorrow.